Coming up on Fulton Today, Fulton's justice partners go one-on-one with young people about the legal system. We'll tell you why. Also, Fulton's former chief judge is hanging up her robe after a long career.
Millions of dollars are on the line based on how Fulton conducts its census count. I'm Brian Robinson, and coming up, I'll tell you how the county census team is hoping to motivate residents to respond to the 2020 census.
That and much more starts right now on Fulton Today. Welcome to Fulton Today, everybody. I'm Shania Chavis-Rucker. Fulton leaders prepare to follow the federal mandate to count its population. The U.S. Constitution calls for every American city and jurisdiction to participate in the census once every decade. And this count will mean just how much federal funds the county can receive. FGTV's Brian Robinson joins us now with more on this story. Brian?
Shania, Fulton has established its own Census 2020 Complete Count Committee. This Board of Commissioners appointed committee, along with county partners, are working hard to ensure Fulton's count is as complete and accurate as possible. With an official welcome from Fulton's chairman, the Fulton Census 2020 planning kickoff session began.
This is really important work, and as I always say, it's a big deal for us.
This group included representatives from the U.S. Census Bureau Atlanta office, the state's Department of Community Affairs, the Atlanta Regional Commission, Fulton's IT deputy, community partners, and led by the head of Fulton's Intergovernmental and Interagency Office.
So our purpose today is to hear from our census and our data experts to gain a better understanding of the census task ahead and to begin our census coalition building.
On April 1, 2020, Fulton residents and those around the nation will be asked to raise their hands and be counted. Nearly $1 trillion will be allocated to state and local governments across the nation annually in direct correlation to the data that is submitted. It is for this reason that the 15 municipalities in Fulton County are already coordinating various aspects of research and data compliance to support the outreach and mobilization strategies.
There are new ways for people to be counted. For the first time, people will be able to complete their census online using either a computer, a tablet, or a smartphone. If people are unable to complete their census using one of those sources, they can also call over the phone. Make a phone call and complete their census over the telephone. And if people are just more comfortable with a hard copy questionnaire, they can request a copy of a questionnaire to be sent to their home.
According to organizers, the participation of each resident will equate to roughly $1,600 for government programs and services that directly impact Georgians.
Fulton County is a critically important piece of the census for 2020. A huge population, and we want to make sure that everything is done to get a complete count of the residents within Fulton County.
So now that the official meeting has wrapped, the real work begins. Counting every Fulton County resident, regardless of race, national origin, age, gender, income level, and any other distinguishing factors, is counted. Now, Fulton's chairman said as the state's largest county with over 1 million residents, the committee will be leaning on support of its partners for this census count. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Brian Robinson.
Fulton's former chief judge leaves the bench and prepares to enter the next phase of her career, retirement. Fulton leaders honored the Honorable Gail Tucson with a reception before the Board of Commissioners presented the judge with a proclamation. Friends and family of the judge were in attendance to watch the commissioners say thank you for Judge Tucson's service on the bench.
Day of mixed emotions. We're celebrating 30 years of amazing performance as a consummate public servant. We're celebrating the new vistas that Judge Tucson has awaiting her, but of course we're sad that we're losing an icon of this courthouse. Chief judge for 4 years, presided over many important cases, just someone that we turn to for advice and counsel, and so we'll be sad to see her go.
Judge Tucson is a former chief judge who has served in the Superior Court of Fulton County since 1995. During that time, she served on multiple criminal justice panels, hosted mock trials for aspiring law students, and helped low-income mothers receive supplies for their newborns.
I've just had an incredible journey in terms of serving our community, working with our elected officials, county partners, and community partners, and trying to help the citizens of Fulton County as they come to court to resolve their controversies and disputes. It's been incredible.
And before serving as Superior Court judge, Judge Toussaint also served on Fulton's State Court and Magistrate Court. We here at FGTV wish her all the best in her retirement. And before saying goodbye, Judge Toussaint took part in a summit designed to help local high schoolers have a better understanding of the legal system. It's just one of the multiple outreach programs Fulton's Justice Partners host with the hope of getting children to reach for peace and not weapons. FGTV's Daryl Carver explains.
From church
Folks who believe they're great don't allow nobody to take it away from them.
to state,
And we thought the best time to have this discussion was now.
Fulton's justice community is committed to bringing together county youth to engage them in discussions about the legal system. During the Pre-Law Day Youth Summit at the State Bar of Georgia headquarters in downtown Atlanta, the message was, "My words matter."
We talked to the kids about the definition of free speech and the constitutional right, ways that speech can be used to hurt and or help people, surrounding stereotypes and the use thereof. And, basically how we should be cognizant of the words we use and how they can, hurt or help folks.
It gave the children an opportunity to really see their inner biases and to be able to determine it on other people, and which leads to having a good choice of words when responding to different situations.
Judge Gail Toussaint, along with members of the Atlanta Bar and the Gate City Bar and members of the community, gave these high school students a lesson in how to exercise their freedom of speech in a respectful way.
I definitely did enjoy the conversation. It was very intriguing to learn people's opinions and, how we do operate different, but we are all just human.
I learned that you have to treat people a certain way, and you can't hold a certain bias, or you can't stereotype people because you wouldn't want anybody to stereotype you.
Meanwhile, at the Youth and the Law Summit at the Impact Church Event Center in East Point, juvenile judge Renata Turner's message to these 9th and 10th graders and their parents was to reach for peace and not weapons.
I learned how a lot of people who were recently involved in the thug life were able to come out, and they were able to help other people who were just getting into the thug life.
The main thing that I really learned is the rights, because that was very important. I didn't really know about the 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendments, so I felt like that was very important that I found that out today.
Some of the youth here are on probation, and with Fulton's juvenile court hearing thousands of cases every year, Judge Turner says summits like this and the Pre-Law Day Youth Summit play a vital role in reducing those numbers.
It's important to bring the community together to address and be educated on issues that are facing all of us. Today we've talked about violence. So it's very important to not only have a discussion about the issue, but to bring together community leaders who may not get a chance to meet each other.
The bottom line, keep young people engaged and think outside the box for solutions other than violence. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Daryl Carver.
Thank you very much. The Fulton County Sheriff is honored for being a drum major for justice. The women of the Southern Christian Leadership Council, the SCLC, presented the award at the organization's annual Drum Major for Justice Awards ceremony. The sheriff and his team were recognized for their numerous outreach programs that benefit the community.
Just think back 50 years ago, and you wouldn't see a sheriff in this audience. So in 50 years, we progressed to the point where we're partners. Not only do we protect and serve, we serve more than we protect.
Commissioner Natalie Hall congratulated all of the honorees and presented a proclamation to the organization. And still to come on Fulton Today, empowering young men to excel. It's a part of our district by district coverage next. Fulton and community leaders inspire young teens to be great men, and seniors tell their district commissioner exactly what they think about county services and programs. Here's this week's District by District coverage. Fulton's District 1 Commissioner supports the newest class of ambassadors from North Fulton. Commissioner Liz Hausman joined the Georgia Secretary of State at the Freight Depot in downtown Atlanta for a luncheon for young leaders.
I just think that it's so important that we have the knowledge that we have young people at a very young age are embracing their potential and learning about not only how government works, but how business, industry, and their community needs. And they are moving forward from an early age with that leadership mindset. Most of these kids are going to prestigious colleges when they graduate. We have Harvard-bound, Princeton. We've got one that's going to West Point. I mean, these are some very, very exceptional students that come from right here in Fulton County, and we're very, very proud of them.
Fulton County this year, the city of Johns Creek, has won both the region and also statewide winners, and that's 2 years in a row they've done that. It's a tremendous accomplishment.
Student Leadership Johns Creek won the Secretary of State Ambassadors State Championship for the second consecutive year. The Secretary of State Ambassadors Program is a leadership training program for high school students in 10th through 12th grades and encourages civic participation and voter registration. District 4 Commissioner Natalie Hall hosts her first ever Empowering Young Men to Excel Youth Conference. Atlanta and Fulton students spent an entire day with leaders from various professions and industries at the Loudermilk building.
We want to make sure they're successful. They need to know that no matter what has happened in their lives, whether they came from humble beginnings or whether they've made mistakes, that they can move forward and still be successful after graduation. And everybody's not going to go to college, so we want to make sure that there are other opportunities to success for them.
The students began the day hearing from the chairman of the 100 Black Men of America.
Well, anytime we have our young men, especially our young men who are in inner city, we have to understand the importance of taking the time to be with them, to have conversation, to share wisdom.
Following the keynote address, the students participated in various workshops on everything from finances and careers to staying on the right side of the law with a word of wisdom from the Fulton County District Attorney.
We've had a conversation about interacting with the law. So, that's a good conversation for, black men in America, especially here in Atlanta, since there's a lot of controversy that goes hand in hand with that.
It shows us that there are people our color in this position of high roles and stuff, and it gives us a good role model to look at and mentors to possibly lead us to the good way or positive way.
The young men were invited to speak one-on-one with presenters and panelists, many of whom agreed to serve as mentors for young men. All of the student participants are on track to graduate high school. The conversation continues in District 5 for the ongoing series of District Dialogues town hall meetings. Commissioner Marvin Arrington Jr. heard from seniors from the Bethlehem Senior Center about a number of issues of concern to them. The quarterly gatherings gives county staff a chance to update residents on various programs, services, and news, but also gives residents an opportunity to ask questions.
We're thankful to have a great crowd here today at the Bethlehem Center. They're thankful. This is about their 1-year anniversary of being at the new location here at the Burdine Building. And so we're all just very grateful. They're grateful that we're here to be able to provide services for them, and we're grateful to be in a position to provide those services.
I think they're doing a beautiful job. Fulton County doing a beautiful job. Thank God for them. They're doing the best they can, what they can.
The District 5 Commissioner hosts the District Dialogue meetings each quarter. Visit the District 5 website for the 2019 calendar. Now you can catch more of your commissioners at work all this week with a rebroadcast of the Board of Commissioners meeting right here on FGTV. And still to come on Fulton Today, Fulton's Sheriff's Office helps many local children create memories they'll never forget. Stay with us, everybody. Fulton's Board of Health is joining 2 other health agencies in urging the public to take precautions to avoid E. coli infections. The Georgia Department of Public Health and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention confirmed over a dozen cases of the E. coli 0103 infection in the state. The illnesses are a part of a multi-state outbreak. Here are a few tips to avoid E. coli infection. Wash your hands after using the bathroom, changing baby diapers, preparing food, and after contact with animals. Cook meats properly, which means thoroughly. Wash fruits and vegetables before cooking, and keep raw meats separate. Now, for the full list of these precautions, visit the CDC's website. What was a normal lunch hour turns into a valuable lesson about the importance of taking care of one's mental health. Fulton's Healthy Heart Coalition hosted a Lunch and Learn session at the Good Samaritan Health Center. The focus was all about behavioral health issues and services available to address them.
It's the entire community. We have little kids here today. We have folks that are struggling with addiction here today. We also have students from Georgia Tech who struggle with anxiety as well. So it's a great opportunity to bring the entire community together and to talk about this as a holistic issue so that we start to get rid of the stigma and start to have our own dialogue about mental health. And that's so important to us.
Fulton's Healthy Heart Coalition focuses on aligning policies and programs to help improve the community's health. While there, the coalition honored Fulton County Commissioner Natalie Hall. The Fulton County Sheriff and his team partner with a number of law enforcement agencies to keep kids safe on bikes. And the best part, they gave away the bikes for free. Here's FGTV's Melissa Lewis.
Go back. Hurry. The Sheriff's Office, along with a number of partnering agencies and organizations, hosted the 4th annual Bicycle Safety Rodeo.
5 years ago, we applied for a grant for pedestrian safety for young people. And we received the grant, and we first started, we were talking to preschool to 2nd grade about crossing the street, being safe, to protect them because sometimes the drivers drive too fast and they become a hazard to young people.
Children received free bicycle helmets and entered into prize drawings to win a new bike. They also learned proper bike and helmet fitting, hand signaling, and how to start and stop.
A lot of the bicycles were donated from our staff and also from our community ambassadors. We just simply put out the word that we was having this event, and our target age group was 6 to 14 years old.
And while safety for the children was the main reason to sponsor the community service project, forging good relationships was another.
It's good to show the positive impact that we can make in the community. There's such a disconnect with the police organizations, the law enforcement organizations, and the community, and to bridge that gap is very, very important.
The Bicycle Safety Rodeo has grown so much over the years that it had to move from the parking lot of Juvenile Court to the marshalling yard of the Georgia World Congress Center. The sheriff says the move allows them to assist more kids and make more friends. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Melissa Lewis.
Gotta love those smiles. And still to come on Fulton Today, Fulton residents get an inside look at what it takes to run the state's most populous county. Stay with us, everybody. The program that gives citizens the opportunity to experience life as a commissioner and other county officials, well, it's returned. The new season of Fulton County Citizens University began with an orientation of the program. To kick things off, last year's class valedictorian Rodney Littles gave the students in this year's class a preview of what they have to look forward to.
You will get to meet and greet key players in county government, and you will know what agency to call on when you need help on a county issue.
Citizens University is a 12-week-long interactive program that provides citizens a behind-the-scenes lens at how Fulton County government operates and the services it provides. The new students say they are looking forward to learning new and valuable information.
I'm very much interested in learning about my community and how I can interact and support that community with the local government. I'm active in my community homeowners association, and I believe that this will be very beneficial not only to me but to the community.
I want to learn more about the government, Fulton County, and the different areas where our tax dollars, and just understand the whole gist of the program.
And next week, we'll show you how the class found out what it takes to be a Fulton commissioner and what is needed to run the state's most populous county. And finally, there was a passing of the baton at the Southwest Arts Center. The African American Philharmonic Orchestra played its final performance under band director John Peake. Before the performance began, the beloved director was acknowledged for his contributions to the music scene by receiving a proclamation.
That the Board of Commissioners of Fulton County thanks John T. Peake and the African American Philharmonic Orchestra for his dedication as a professional musician and composer.
Audience members for this performance included members from the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. They were treated to various types of music, including gospel, R&B, jazz, hip-hop, and even some Dixieland.
It just shows you that one thing for sure, all music is the same. All music is the same with the one exception, and that's rhythm.
After the performance was over, the orchestra's new conductor talked about what it means to fill some pretty legendary shoes.
The first thing is I was very nervous about the whole thing because John is so experienced. He can do this in his sleep. So coming today, I was very nervous about how the concert would go. But I felt a lot better once the concert started. But it's some really big shoes to fill.
Mr. John Peake founded the African American Philharmonic Orchestra way back in 1988. We love Mr. Peake. And before we go, our reminder that FGTV wants to connect with you online. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for up-to-date Fulton County news. And you can watch a replay of this show and any other FGT program anytime on our YouTube channel. So please subscribe. And that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. I'm Shania Chavis-Rucker. Thank you so much for watching. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County.